Hello everyone and welcome to Avantika Designeering series or ADS as we like to call it. Every week on Wednesday, we feature design and technology leaders who share their professional journey, their thoughts on their domain of work, and designeering where the world of design and engineering meet. Make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And with that, let's continue with your show.
One of the most crucial aspects for any product or company to succeed in the market is the way it is presented to the consumers. Branding is the most effective way to achieve this as it answers important questions like what a company is and what it does. It needs a well defined strategy interpreted through design that can be communicated efficiently and help companies remain relevant, consistent, while staying in line with their business goals. So, how can companies create value for their business with branding? To know more about this theme, in this episode, we interact with Samyadeep De, founder at Tricycle Brand Solutions LLP, and Kaushik Saha, co founder and chief creative officer at Tricycle Brand Solutions LLP. Tricycle is a niche brand consultancy that helps growing organizations craft a distinct brand story. Built with passion, it aims to offer a fresh perspective and create ideas that impact. And that's where, on our journey of discovering designeering, let's get in conversation with them on our episode for supporting a design startup studio for the month of June. Welcome, Samyadeep, to ADS Podcast.
Thank you very much, Rohit. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Super. So, Samyadeep, my first question: what inspired you to start Tricycle? Is there a story there?
Absolutely. There cannot be any initiative like this without a story. So the story is as such. I've been working in the consulting, kind of space for quite some time now, 15 plus years actually to be precise. And in course of my professional career, one found that one was only interacting with so-called established companies. They tend to understand brand building well. They have set practices. They have got set teams, and that always prompted me that if only we are taking care of established guys, who is taking care of the newer ones. And that prompted me to actually start Tricycle, to take care of family owned businesses, newer enterprise, new entrepreneurs, and take strategic brand building as a discipline to them, so that they can make the most of the kind of options that are available to them, and we can create more value for their respective businesses. And it's been a great journey, full of learning, full of adventure, if I may say so. And most importantly, we have been able to create considerable amount of impact through our engagements, and that is the most satisfying aspect of our journey. And we hope to be the preferred branding agency for new age enterprise, and contribute effectively in their journey to becoming strong brands.
Wow, that's an interesting story there, Samyadeep. I mean, with the entire startup ecosystem in India opening up, with family businesses becoming more professional, I think branding is an important area which is largely ignored. And with partnering with organization like yours, it gives a lot of entrepreneurs a new opportunity to go out and innovate there. So that brings me to my next question, Samyadeep. What inspired you to start I'll take that again. So that brings me to my next question, Samyadeep. Can you tell us about Tricycle Brand Solution? What exactly is it that you assist your customers with?
Surely, Rohit. As the name suggests, tricycle is a very interesting name. I mean, it's part of our, childhood. It's kind of draws nostalgia. Its tricycle happens to be your first vehicle, actually. When you are as a kid out there to discover your world. So, tricycle is strategy oriented, design focused, and communication integrated outfit. which means that we go about creating a strategic roadmap. We understand the business, we understand the goals that are important for an organization. Thereafter, we assume the role of a design agency and create a distinct interpretation of the brand for you. Again, to take care of the day to day operations, to ensure that there is consistency this all throughout and there is no dilution, we also assume the role of a communications agency or an advertising agency and take care of your day to day communication. So what essentially happens is strategy, design and communication all come together to create a cohesive kind of an interpretation and which is consistent across touch points, and as a result of it you get a very a well interpreted kind of an answer for the brand, and you go about creating consistent projection all throughout. And this is the need of the hour, to be able to marry strategy to design and infuse technology as a result of it. And that's how we are probably adding value through our engagements.
And Samyadeep, to continue our conversation, each startup is building a solution for a customer problem. The question that I have for you there is, what are the typical challenges that you see with your customers with respect to branding as an area, and how do you strategically address them?
Right, Rohit. So thank you for asking this question. It's a wonderful question to begin this conversation today. The main problem that we see is the fact that our understanding of branding is very skewed. I mean, we have a very limited perspective about branding, and that's been our experience. So that is where we are trying to actually, clean the air and trying to make a difference. Firstly, what we are wanting to do is we are wanting to make sure that people understand what the real branding is all about. Um, we want them to understand that branding is not restricted to a logo or just a kind of a collateral design. It's more than that. There are the softer aspects of branding, and it goes into understanding important aspects like culture creation, employer branding, external communication, internal communication. And most importantly, from experience, what we have seen is that many times after doing a lot of things, we come across a situation that things don't add up. And that's a big problem, because it's not being well thought through initially. People start looking at it from an individual job perspective, and that's where the problem is. So Tricycle, because we are a strategy oriented, design integrated and communication looking outfit, we first make sure that we create a broad strategy depending on what your business goals are. Then we go about interpreting it through design, and thereafter we also take care of communication, so that this entire brand projection is distinct, it's relevant, and most importantly it's consistent and in line with your business goals.
Interesting, Samyadeep. In fact, taking a cue from what you just shared with us, can you share with our listeners what kind of customers do you prefer to work with in terms of their mindset, background, knowledge? What kind of customers do you aspire to serve?
Right. So, Rohit, we want to work with people who have, most importantly, clarity of vision, clarity of thought in terms of what they want to achieve, and who believe in the potential and idea of strategic brand building to begin with. We have come across situations where there are companies who have a very limited understanding in terms of branding and what it can do, and that's where we have a problem. We don't care if you are an established company, or if you're a new entity, if you are a family owned enterprise, or if you are just an enthusiastic entrepreneur just wanting to start out. But the important thing is, do you believe in the potential of branding? Do you understand the processes that are there? Or if you don't understand, are you open enough to help us come and kind of do that for you? So that autonomy is important, that belief is important, because this is not something that can give you immediate returns. Branding is a long drawn affair. It requires commitment, it requires focus, and most importantly, it requires the belief that this is something that is very, very important for you. So we are always looking out to work with people who are passionate like ours, who understand the potential of it, who believe that this can be a real game changer and add value to their respective businesses, and most importantly, people who celebrate fresh perspectives. Tricycle was created for that. So, if you want to do the usual, the regular, the mundane, then we are probably not the right guys for you. But if you believe that, okay, there is another perspective, there is a different way out, and you care for those, diversity in terms of thoughts and in terms of perspective, uh, then we are more than willing to be to take up your project and to kind of create value. The most important thing is that we are here to make a difference, we are here to add value, and this is the most important thing that we look at in our relationships. Thankfully, this has been the journey, this has been how it has been so far, and we would like to work with many people who believe in the same principles.
Wow, that's interesting, Samardeep. Today we are getting into conversation with the co-founder Kaushik Saha. Kaushik, welcome to our show. We would like you to share some of the work that you have executed for your clients till date. What are the kind of customers, their problems that you've created solution for? We'd love to hear some examples from you.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Rohit. Thanks for asking me this question, because this is a very valid question. Because getting in, as Samadip mentioned earlier in the last, we love to address business problems. We are not, while we are all about strategy and design, but we believe that it should definitely address a business problem, and it is not just about aesthetics, which should matter much. Aesthetics is always about beautifying the solution is what we do, right? To give you a few examples, I would really want to take. I want really want to begin with real estate here. We are in a prime real estate market, and we had this client who, so a very big name in the real estate market in Pune, and uh, the client, they belong to the affordability segment, value for money segment. They always thought, that we are the kings of what we do. One fine day they decided that they wanted to get into the premium segment, right? But it's not as easy as just saying it. It doesn't happen, because you've been, for decades you've been in the value segment. People know you as a value player. It took some time, so we said, you know what, okay, fine, let us just go back, let us study what you are, let us study where you belong to, and then come back maybe with the next discussions we'll have is, probably arrive at what needs to be done. So we took a few days, we understood, we found out, and the strongest point what we analyzed was, yes, this is a big brand, but the segment they operate out of was a completely different segment, right? So uh, getting into a premium segment from being a value player doesn't match at all. So we had to go to the client, and we had to tell the client this. There again, this is something that it becomes a big challenge to tell the client, you know what, you don't belong here. You need to first belong here. The client doesn't take it, especially an established player would not want to listen to something like this, and that's where the challenge comes. So we had to stick our guns and say, you know what, you are a big player, yes, acknowledged, but you are a non existent player when it comes to the premium segment. And if you bring in the same name to the premium segment, it is going to be very difficult for people to acknowledge the new entity that you want to create. So the client just fell off his chair and said, "What are you saying? You saying you don't want me to use my name?" I said, "Exactly, that's right. You are not supposed to use your name, at least till people acknowledge what you are offering." It took us quite some time to convince the client and tell him, that we totally came up with a new name, a new brand essence. It took us a lot of conviction to make the client believe that whatever we are doing was right. In short, the client bought into it. We created a completely new brand, completely disassociated it with the existing brand. It took the client almost a year to 2 years to actually realize the benefit of what we had done. After 2 years, when the new brand started taking shape and people started calling it by its name, without associating it with the value brand, And then he realized that, oh yes, this is something that was right. And it took him 2 years to realize that whatever we had done is right. But then that's the patience, that's the belief that our clients have in us, right? And today it's one of the premium real estate players in the market with its own offering. And now today, after all these years, we have opened up and told people that, this belongs to the same value brand. So now that differentiation is not there, but it needs to be done in the right way, the right approach. That's what strategy and the right planning does. That has to be planned properly. You can't just believe on assumptions and just say, what, I'm big, so I'm going to be big here. So that was one example. The other example was a different business challenge, right? There was this client, a 4-year-old IT company, a subsidiary of a US company based out of India. They were a 200 plus 250 people plus strong organization, an innovation led company. They came to us and we said, what, while we are a US subsidiary, we are doing this, but people don't know us. People know us by the US name. What can we do? And then we asked them, we went into detail and said, what is the exact problem? Is it just people not knowing you? They said, no, actually, what, we want the cream of the crowd. But that means when we want people, when we are hiring people, we want the cream of the crowd. We want the IIMs, the IITs, or the top business houses or the top engineering companies to call us for placement interviews, campus placement, or campus placements. And we said, okay, so that's the business challenge. And then we said, so how do we create that? We said, the first thing to do is to get out of the parent name. Why? Because that name already has a lineage. It belongs to something else. It means something else. You are a completely different segment. You are a completely different player. Your offering is different. You need to talk about yourself and not take a leverage of your parent company. Again, the same issue. The client said, oh, do you think that's the right thing to do? Because we thought that's a big name, so maybe that's going to help. I said, then we told them, whatever that thing is going to help you is already done. It's over. Now create your own. And that's when we renamed the company from Infovision Labs to IVL. This is this new entity that we created. We just went back. We did a research. It took us a lot of convincing to tell the client, what, you need to change your entity right from the naming. And the client said, okay, that means I have to change a lot of my registration, my collaterals, my company. Be ready for it. So this our client said, okay, what do we do? We went and we did a research. We first said, what, let's talk to the primary stakeholders. And who are the primary stakeholders of the company? Is the people, the employees of the company who work for the company. We spoke to them, we did a deep research, and we found out that the people take pride in not calling themselves Infovision Labs, but IVL. That means I for info, V for vision, and L for labs. Unofficially, they love to call themselves IVL. And he said, that's it. That's what you are. You are IVL. That runs in your genes. And that's how we built IVL over a period of time. We created the new identity. We created the entire new collateral set, the new dimension. We coined this, the philosophy of the company called invisible innovation, because we realized that here's an IT company which doesn't believe in the big, the big gifts, the big prizes. They believe in making small change. So they're okay with the client coming to them and telling them, what, I just want this change to be done, which is going to make a big difference to the client business. So they were the invisible innovators, and that's what we coined. We said, you are all about invisible innovation. And that's what we coined the slogan. We coined their tagline, which said power of possibilities, because everything is possible when you think fresh, you think alike, right? And the entire exercise took shape, and then we created the entire field of the client. We created a complete new company, and we presented it in such a way that from today, after 3.5 years to 4 years, the company from a 200 people organization stands at almost 1,700 people plus, with 5 offices across globally and growing. Right. So that's how it took shape. And not only that, the challenge about IIMs and IITs calling them, that's what happened. The big institutes started calling them for placements. So they achieved that. Today, people understand when they say IVL, they know it. So that's another thing.
Branding is a very important exercise, but most organizations want to do it either after they've raised funding or they've crossed certain milestones. However, if you ask me, and having been an entrepreneur in past, it starts right on the day you've actually thought of your idea, when you are conceptualizing your positioning. The question that I have for you there is, why is branding important at an early stage for your target customers?
Right, Rohit. So, very well asked. Actually, this is a very important question, and this is a question that we face always. People, and rightfully said, people think this is a later stage exercise. We believe it's not, because what we say is branding is just like investment. It's an investment in your business. You need to do it right from the day you have conceptualized your business, and it goes on till the day that, by God forbid, you have to shut shop. That's what the extent of branding is. Another misconception people have is that people think, especially in the Indian market, people believe branding is advertising, which is not. A lot of people, there's colloquially they say branding, huh, we also do branding. That's not. You have done communication, you've done advertising. Branding is not advertising, because we always tell our clients, fine, when you have a product, or you have a service, or you have an idea, whatever you have, when you go out in the market and you have to communicate about it, before you do that exercise, you need to first understand yourself as to that what is it that you want to talk about. Who are you? How do you look? What do you talk in English? What do you wear? Are you formal? Are you casual? Do you like red? Do you like blue? There are multiple questions that you need to acknowledge yourself, and therefore arrive. This is what branding does. It creates the entire spectrum of answering what you are and what you're supposed to do. Get your facts right before you step out, and thereby talk to people about who you are. Because most of the communication that you see where branding has not played a crucial role are always functional communication, and that's where it falters. It just becomes just like any other communication. Branding creates that difference, because when you know what you are, that's when you create the difference, right?
And Kaushik, taking a cue from what you just said right now, I would like to ask, what are some of the common branding mistakes that entrepreneurs or clients land up making? In fact, in India, most conversation is around visual communication, like the logo or how the brand looks like. But in fact, when you talk about a brand, there's a huge financial asset value intact in it, and it can give you great returns in the long run. So, how can we be mindful of this fact and avoid some of the common mistakes?
Absolutely, there are major mistakes which are happening, especially nowadays. People are misinterpreting branding. Biggest And I don't blame any media per se. Like, for example, the latest thing is people think digital marketing or digital social media is, if you do social media, you have done your branding enough. It's wrong. These are all platforms, these are all medias. You need to first create, as I said earlier also, you need to create what you are. You need to know who you are. You need to know how you're going to portray yourself before you even go further and talk, right? One of the biggest problems that people do is, they believe that branding, once I do it, I just create the templates, I create how I look, and then that's it. It's over. I can just keep plastering anything on it, and it will just sound the same, it will just look the same. It doesn't happen that way. It's a continuous exercise. You need to know where to draw the line. You need to know how much to say, how much not to say. It's a very balanced exercise. It's a continuous exercise. You cannot let it go. You shouldn't let it go, because so there are two ways. We always tell our clients, you are a business, right? You have been doing business great enough. You have been making good money. You don't need us to do your business. But if you want to create valuation for what you do, if you want people to value irrespective of what you do, that's where branding plays a part. It is very crucial that people understand this difference very well. Okay, the difference between right branding and right communication, they're two different things altogether.
Absolutely well said, Kaushik. And continuing our conversation ahead with you, what I wish to know from you, Samyadeep, how do you see branding as a domain evolving, and what are the exciting areas that we can expect in the branding domain in the coming days?
Well, Rohit, that's a very interesting question once again. So, branding is going to be evolving, because it has to reflect the changes in the customers, consumers' minds, and the way consumers react to, cues. I mean, visual cues and design cues. So, one very important thing that is happening is, today all of us, I mean, the consumers, we are very aware of the, of the different kind of messages that are going around, different brands that are coming up. So you got to be really very very cautious in terms of how you go about portraying yourself. Another important thing is that the entire life cycle, that of a brand to go and establish itself has kind of according to me, slightly reduced. So now you don't have to necessarily wait for uh, mm, a longer period to go and create an impression. Influencer marketing is something that is coming up really strongly. Technology intervention is also something that has increased. So all in all, one can say that consumers are very aware, they are receptive, they are wanting to listen to the right things, and brands have to ensure that they are going about making the right pitches, using the mediums effectively, and most importantly, they are creating an engaging promise with respect to the products and services that they are wanting to offer. So going forward, I see the relationships between brands and consumers getting even more stronger. Lot of participation, lot of user generated content coming in, and the relationship has to go um, ahead from being just a transactional one to something that is far more stronger. And technology also is going to play a very important role there.
Well, that's brilliantly put, Samyadeep, and I completely align with your thought process in terms of how all these stakeholders and external elements need to come together to create this entire success. However, what I also wish to know from you is how is this new branding evolution specifically impact entrepreneurs and family-owned businesses, in your opinion?
Right. So let's talk about entrepreneurs first. Now, when you go about starting a business, obviously the operational issues, they take precedence to begin with. But at the same time, it's also very important to understand that essentially you want a lot of attention to come to you. You are probably eyeing for an investors, to come up and invest in your idea. You are wanting to attract quality talent to be part of your vision. Now, all of this is not possible if you are not communicating the promise well. So although there might be an impression that, okay, a new company may not necessarily need branding, but the fact of the matter is entirely the opposite of it. If you are a new company, you need it even more. So a lot of entrepreneurs are kind of aware of this now, so I find that they are more receptive to the idea. There are also certain myths which are associated with branding. Sometimes it is mistaken with advertising. Therefore, the question of having a big media budget comes up occasionally. But then I find that entrepreneurs are more aware nowadays, and everyone understands that you got to go and create an impression there. You are in a competitive space, so it's very important to get noticed. It's very important to create the right kind of buzz around your enterprise and the promise that you are wanting to deliver. And when we're talking about family owned businesses, the same thing applies even there. Mostly because in case of family owned businesses, you would have the new generation taking over. Most of them probably have taken education from abroad, or probably gone to institutions where they have learned about modern marketing, or how one should go about doing the branding in the right manner. And when they come back and when they are wanting to join the family business, they would probably want to act as a change agent, want to make the relevant changes and want to essentially up the game. And that's where branding becomes very, very crucial, because in case of family owned businesses, you got to kind of bridge the gap between the previous generations, or the previous generations thought process, and the new generation's ideas. And that synergy is very, very important, because there is a lot of things that can be taken forward, which are part of legacy, and it can be blended with new ideas, new perspectives, and something very interesting and relevant can be created. And that's where Tricycle comes in, and we want to work with family owned businesses and entrepreneurs, and allow them to go about leveraging the potential of strategic brand building, and go about creating a greater promise out of their ventures.
Wow, that's absolutely well said, Samyadeep. This was a really amazing conversation with you. Thank you so much for doing this and inspiring and guiding our listeners. We are sure some of our listeners would like to engage with Tricycle in much more depth, and they will reach out to you through the social media channels. Thank you so much, Samyadeep, for doing this with us.
Thank you, Rohit. It's a pleasure.
Hey there, we hope you enjoyed our show. Do write to us on ads@avantika.edu.in. We look forward to your opinions, feedbacks, and suggestions of speakers you would like us to host on this show. Do tune in our channel next week on Wednesday for a new story on Hubhopper or wherever you get your podcast from. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.